By the grace of God, inspired by the fire of purpose, my brothers and sisters, I came to tell you today, not with fluff, not with hype, but with divine revelation. 1 hour a day can change your life. Yes, you, the one feeling stuck, the one who's tired, the one who says, Lord, is there more for me? Let me tell you something, child of God. Success is never an accident. It is not stumbled upon. It is built brick by brick, step by step, day by day. You don't arrive at excellence by way of excitement. You arrive by way of discipline. The difference between the person who wishes for a better life and the one who walks into it is what they choose to do with their daily routine. You see, we live in a generation that celebrates results but often disregards routines. We're hypnotized by the highlights, mesmerized by the moments of greatness. But what we don't see, what doesn't get likes or go viral, is the process behind the promise. And it's that quiet, uncelebrated daily discipline that becomes the womb for greatness. There is a supernatural rhythm to success. The world teaches us to chase after things, but the Word of God teaches us to be faithful over little, and in due time, God will make us rulers over much. That little doesn't just mean money or material, it means time. 1 hour, just 1 hour. Committed, focused, intentional. That's not too much to ask. That's not a mountain too tall. That's not a sea too wide. 1 hour, and yet it's the most neglected seed in the garden of life. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they lack patterns. Talent may open the door, but discipline is what keeps you in the room. Discipline builds muscle in your character. Discipline trains the mind to submit to purpose. Discipline silences the voice that says not today, and activates the power that says this hour belongs to my future. Can I talk to somebody who's been waiting on God? You've been praying, Lord, send increase. Lord, open the doors. Lord, bless me indeed. But God is whispering back, can you be faithful in the dark when nobody's watching? Can you do the work when there is no applause? Can you give me 1 hour, 1 hour where you say, no distractions, no excuses, no delay. I am showing up for what you placed inside me. I came to educate your mind and awaken your spirit. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is glorious. It doesn't feel magical, but it is miraculous. The reason many never rise to the level of their calling is because they underestimate the power of what they do daily. Not once, not occasionally, but daily. 1 hour a day of working on your dream. Reading, writing, training, praying, strategizing. That's not ordinary. That's warfare. That's obedience. That's preparation. And what you do in private, God will reward in public. People will look at your results and call it favor, but what they don't realize is you were planting in faith every single day, long before the fruit appeared. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline asks what's required. See, feelings are temporary, but purpose is eternal. There will be days when your body says no, your emotions say no, your mind says maybe later. But discipline speaks louder and says, now, we build now, we grow now, we prepare now. Do you know how much transformation can take place in one focused hour every day? That's 7 hours a week. That's over 30 hours a month. That's 365 hours a year. Let that sink in. That's 365 hours where you pushed back on your comfort and leaned into your calling. That's over 2 weeks' worth of pure development just by saying, this hour is sacred. And here's the thing, God honors discipline. He honors order. He honors commitment. The kingdom is built on consistency. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. Day by day, he loads me with benefits. Our God is a God of rhythm, and when you begin to move in a daily rhythm of development, you align with heaven's strategy. But hear me, discipline is not just about productivity, it's about identity. Every time you show up in that hour, you're declaring who you are. You're saying, I am not lazy, I am not lost, I am not limited, I am a builder, a steward, a vessel of vision. You're reminding the enemy, I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm no longer who I used to be, because every day I choose to grow. Somebody say daily, that's right. The anointing doesn't just fall on people who pray. It falls on people who prepare. You can be gifted, but without discipline, you'll die with the seed still in your hand. You'll carry potential to the grave because you never learned how to water it 1 hour at a time. So today, I challenge you not to work harder, but to work smarter. Not to chase success, but to schedule your success. Give God your hour. Give yourself your hour. Stop scrolling. Stop stalling. Stop making excuses. Pick up that book, open that notebook, turn on that workout, make that plan, and when you feel tired, remind yourself, I don't need all day, I just need this hour, and if you keep sowing, the harvest will come. 1 hour at a time. There is a version of you that the world has not seen yet. A version so refined, so focused, so filled with purpose and fire, that even you would be surprised by their wisdom, their strength, their clarity. But that version of you is not created by chance. It is created by choice. And every single day, through the small decisions you make, through the habits you build, through the time you steward, you are either investing in that future or delaying its arrival. Let me tell you something that many people never realize until it's too late. Your future self is depending on you. The person you'll be next year, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, they don't magically appear. They are shaped by what you decide to do today. Your growth is not just about surviving the moment you're in. It's about preparing for the mission you've yet to step into. Every hour you dedicate to growing, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and skillfully, is a seed sown into the ground of your tomorrow. But here's the thing. Most people don't make that investment. You know why. Because the future doesn't scream. The future doesn't beg for your attention. The future doesn't make noise like the distractions of today. It doesn't beep like your phone. It doesn't flash like entertainment. It doesn't rush you like deadlines, but it waits, silently, patiently, and when it arrives, it shows up demanding what you were supposed to be ready for. That's why I need you to understand that the hour you spend reading, learning, building, praying, or working on yourself is not wasted. It is strategic equity. It is spiritual construction. That hour might not bring immediate applause. Nobody might notice. Nobody might clap. But when you look back a year from now, you'll find that the person you've become was crafted, not in the big events, but in those daily investments. Do you want to walk into the kind of future that brings peace, purpose, power, and provision? Then you've got to stop spending all your time reacting to life and start investing in life. Stop waiting for the world to change and start becoming the person who can thrive regardless of the world's condition. Let me go deeper. Your future self will thank you for the books you read today, for the workouts you didn't skip, for the boundaries you enforced, for the prayers you whispered when no one was listening, for the time you spent learning that new skill instead of watching distractions. You may not see the reward now, but just like a seed under the soil, the work is happening in secret. And when the time is right, what was once invisible will become undeniable. Most people want better, but they're not willing to prepare for better. They want the job but won't build the knowledge. They want the relationship but won't develop the maturity. They want the opportunity but won't sharpen the skill. And God is saying, I have it ready, but are you ready for it? You've been praying for promotion, but the truth is, promotion would crush you right now if you haven't prepared for it. So instead of trying to rush your season, why not invest in your capacity? Do you know what it means to really steward time? It means you're not just living for the moment. You're preparing for the mission. You're using the hour to construct your character. Every disciplined hour today saves you a decade of regret tomorrow. You can delay pain or you can delay pleasure, but you can't avoid both. Either you sacrifice an hour now for your future, or your future will sacrifice joy for the lack of that hour. Let me talk to the version of you that's still in development, the author who hasn't published, the business owner still building, the speaker still practicing in their bedroom mirror, the parent trying to break generational cycles. I want you to know you're not behind, you're in preparation, and every hour you dedicate to becoming more, to learning more, to healing more, is a sacred deposit into the life you're going to live. Stop calling it a routine and start calling it a legacy project. Stop thinking you're just going through the motions and start realizing you're creating a motion that will ripple into the lives of your children, your community, and your destiny. You don't become wise at 40 unless you started listening at 25. You don't become strong in the storm unless you trained in the calm. You don't step into favor without first stepping into faithfulness. So the question is, what are you putting in the ground today? What are you feeding your future with? What are you storing up that your tomorrow will be able to draw from? That's why this hour matters. It's not just about productivity. It's about preparation. And the future is not coming. It's already walking toward you. Will it find you empty-handed or fully equipped? Will it find you fumbling or ready to flow? So when you feel tired, when it seems like it's not making a difference, I want you to hear these words echo in your spirit. I'm doing this for the future me. I'm writing for the future author. I'm studying for the future leader. I'm saving for the future investor. I'm healing for the future spouse. I'm praying for the future warrior. I'm showing up today so the future me can show out tomorrow. And when you do that, when you invest in your future self with daily faithfulness, you will look back one day and say, "Thank God I didn't quit on me." We live in a time where people want results without the process. They want the reward without the rhythm. They want the outcome without the obedience. But let me tell you something that will shift your life if you grab hold of it. It's not what you do once in a while that changes your life. It's what you do consistently. Transformation doesn't ride in on a lightning bolt. It sneaks in through small steps, repeated faithfully over time. The compound effect is the law that governs growth in silence. It's the principle that says little by little becomes much. That every tiny effort, every act of discipline, every moment of focus you choose, though it seems insignificant in the moment, is building something massive in the unseen. And by the time the world sees it, it's already been growing for years beneath the surface. Look at how a tree grows. You don't see the roots digging deep when the seed first hits the soil. There is no applause, no spotlight, no celebration when it's buried, but down in the dark, it's doing the real work. It's pushing, stretching, establishing foundation. And one day, when the roots are strong enough to support the weight of what's coming, the first shoot breaks the surface. That's how the compound effect works. Progress is hidden in the process. We don't often notice it while it's happening, and that's why people give up, because it doesn't feel fast enough, it doesn't feel big enough. But what you don't realize is that heaven honors consistency more than intensity. You don't need to move mountains in a day. You need to move inches every day, and the mountain will eventually collapse under the pressure of your persistence. Let me break it down for you. 5 push-ups a day might not change your body in a week, but 5 push-ups a day for 6 months will. 10 minutes of prayer may not open the heavens tonight, but 10 minutes of prayer every morning will begin to break chains off your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. Reading 2 pages of a book won't give you all the answers today, but read 2 pages a day for a year, and you've consumed more knowledge than most people do in a lifetime. You've been looking for a breakthrough, but I came to tell you that breakthrough doesn't always show up with noise. Sometimes breakthrough sneaks in dressed like discipline, and if you're not careful, you'll ignore it because it doesn't feel exciting. But what's boring to the flesh is powerful in the spirit. God's power is often packed in small, repeated actions, done with obedience and without applause. People ask, how do I change my life? I tell them, start with one decision, one action, one commitment, then do it again tomorrow, then again the next day. It's not sexy, but it's sacred. It's not flashy, but it's fruitful. When you learn to honor the ordinary, the extraordinary will chase you down. The enemy knows he can't stop you in a day, so he distracts you from what you do daily, because he knows your strength is not in what you do occasionally. Your strength is in your pattern. If he can disrupt your pattern, he can derail your progress. But if you protect your pattern, if you defend your disciplines, you become unstoppable. Not because of how fast you move, but because of how faithful you are. That's why 1 hour a day matters so much, because 1 hour over time begins to multiply. 1 hour turns into 7 hours a week, 7 turns into 30 in a month, and before long you've got a foundation under you that nobody can take away. You've got growth inside you that no storm can shake. You've got habits that build instead of break. You won't see the results immediately. That's the deception of the flesh. The flesh wants immediate gratification. But the Spirit is patient. The Spirit understands sowing and reaping. The Spirit understands that what is planted in faith will be harvested in due season if you don't faint. So I dare you, keep going. Keep writing, keep studying, keep building. Don't despise the small steps. Don't underestimate the small wins, because they are stacking up. Heaven sees it, hell fears it, and your future is waiting for it. Let me prophesy this over you. If you will stay consistent with your discipline, if you will show up even when you don't feel like it, if you will honor your hour even when no one's watching, the day is coming when the compound effect will explode. And what looked like sudden success to others will actually be the public result of your private faithfulness. That business idea you've been working on in silence, it's gaining weight. That health transformation you've been sweating through every day, it's gaining traction. That book, that calling, that vision, it's growing roots, and if you don't stop, if you just keep planting 1 hour at a time, the compound effect will carry you from ordinary to overflow. Because God blesses faithfulness, not just fire, not just frenzy, but faithfulness. That's what moves mountains. That's what shakes systems. That's what transforms lives, and it starts, every single time, with a small choice repeated faithfully over time. Time is the one gift that God gave every human equally. Whether you're rich or poor, educated or uneducated, black or white, old or young, you were given the same 24 hours in a day. Time is the currency of life. And how you spend it determines what you become. You may not have the same opportunities as others. You may not have the same resources. But if you learn how to master your time, child of God, you can change the trajectory of your entire life. Most people spend their days trying to manage time, juggling tasks, reacting to problems, barely catching their breath before the next demand comes in. But I came to tell you, if all you do is manage time, you'll stay stuck in survival mode. You'll keep your head above water but never learn how to swim. You'll stay busy but never become productive. You don't need to just manage time. You need to master it. To master time means you become intentional about what every hour produces. You don't let the clock tell you what to do. You tell the clock what it's going to mean. You begin to assign value to your minutes. You begin to decide in advance what fruit your time will bear. Because if you don't give your time purpose, life will fill it with distraction. When you master time, you don't just count the hours. You make the hours count. You don't wake up wondering what's going to happen. You wake up already knowing what you've been called to build. You set boundaries around your time the same way you guard your heart. Why? Because time is precious. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. You can make more money. You can rebuild broken things, but you can never relive a wasted year. God is a God of timing. He moves in seasons. He orchestrates moments. The Bible says, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. But if you don't understand how to discern time, how to protect time, how to prioritize time, You'll miss your moment chasing things that do not matter. You'll miss divine appointments because you were too busy checking meaningless notifications. Let me make it plain. Mastering time means you stop letting life happen to you and start happening to life. You take control of your schedule. You make your calendar serve your calling. You start saying no to what drains you and yes to what grows you. You block out time, not just for what's urgent, but for what's important. Because everything urgent ain't eternal. Think about this. 1 hour a day, protected and directed, becomes the workshop of destiny. 1 hour where your phone is off, your mind is clear, your intention is sharp. That hour can shift your whole life. But most people lose their hours to the scroll, the noise, the chaos, the temporary. You weren't created to be reactive. You were created to be strategic, and strategy requires time to think, to plan, to build. But when you give your best energy to things that don't feed your purpose, you bankrupt your future. The enemy is not always coming with an attack. Sometimes he comes with a distraction. Because if he can't destroy you, he'll delay you. If he can't take your vision, he'll steal your time. If he can't stop your dream, he'll get you to waste the very hours you need to develop it. That's why time mastery is not just a productivity principle. It's a spiritual weapon. When you master time, you give yourself permission to operate with clarity. You eliminate the fog. You stop reacting and start responding. You take command of your day before it takes command of you. You begin to live with divine rhythm, rising with purpose, working with power, and resting with peace. Jesus said, "I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day, for the night comes when no man can work." That's time mastery. That's a recognition that you don't have forever, that you can't keep putting off purpose, that procrastination is not just laziness, it's theft. It robs your tomorrow by stealing your today. So when you set aside 1 hour, just 1 hour, it's not a random act. It's a declaration. You're saying, this time belongs to my growth. This time belongs to my destiny. This time is not for chaos, for compromise, or for comfort. This hour belongs to the version of me that God is calling forward. And if you make that declaration every day, if you treat that hour as holy ground, if you master it, protect it, and fill it with intention, you will begin to see doors open that once seemed locked. Opportunities will begin to align. Revelation will come. Strength will rise, not because you had more time than others, but because you used your time better than most. That's what separates the exceptional from the average, not talent, but time management. Not passion alone, but the ability to harness time like a resource and invest it like royalty. You can't be a king and live like a slave to the urgent. You can't walk in purpose and give your best time to the pointless. You've got to make a decision every day to treat your time like treasure, to give it to what builds you, not just what entertains you, to give it to what will last, not just what feels good for the moment. Because one day, when you look back, you won't remember the hours you wasted. You'll feel them. You'll feel what could have been, what should have been, what almost was. But I declare that won't be your story. You're rising now. You're taking your time back. You're mastering it. And through that mastery, you are about to walk into the most focused, fruitful, and fulfilled season of your life. 1 hour at a time. There's a lie that has become a language, a phrase so common, so rehearsed that people speak it without even thinking. You hear it in every office, every home, every conversation about goals, dreams, callings, and change. It's the excuse that's kept millions stuck in neutral. I don't have time. But I came to tell you today, that is not the truth. It is a myth, and like every myth, it is meant to keep you small, silent, and stuck. Time is not the issue. Focus is, intention is, discipline is, because the truth is, everybody has time for what they prioritize. You don't find time. You make time. You don't stumble into purpose. You schedule it. The problem is not the absence of hours, but the mismanagement of minutes. You say you don't have time to read, but you have time to scroll. You say you don't have time to write the book, but you've watched a season of a show in one weekend. You say you don't have time to pray, but you've spent 3 hours a day worrying. It's not time you're lacking, it's clarity. When people say, I don't have time, what they're really saying is, I haven't made it a priority. And until we're honest about that, we'll never see change. You will never conquer what you keep making excuses for. That dream will stay deferred. That goal will stay on the shelf. That breakthrough will keep waiting, because the clock has never been your enemy. Your decisions have. We all get the same 24 hours. The CEO and the student, the visionary and the victim, the thriving and the tired. What separates them is not how much time they have, but what they do with it. If you spend all your time reacting, you'll never have time for building. If your life is filled with noise, you'll never make room for vision. And if your day is dictated by everyone else's agenda, you'll live your entire life without fulfilling your own. You say you don't have time, but let me ask you, how much time have you given away to things that do not feed your spirit? How much time have you surrendered to relationships that drain you, to thoughts that paralyze you, to habits that sabotage you? You've got time. It's just been spent on what doesn't serve the future you were designed to live. It's time to take your time back. It's time to dethrone the myth, because the moment you stop believing the lie that you don't have time is the moment you start walking in power. It's the moment you realize that every hour you've been given is a tool, a seed, a sacred opportunity to shape your destiny. God did not give you time to waste it. He gave you time to work it. Do you remember the parable of the talents? One was given 5, one 2, and one was given 1. It wasn't about how much they were given. It was about what they did with what they had. The one who hid the talent made excuses, and God didn't call him under-resourced. He called him wicked and lazy. It's not about how little time you think you have. It's about whether you're multiplying what you've already been given. If you truly understood what one focused hour could produce, you'd stop saying you don't have time. Because in 1 hour, you could begin learning a skill that could open doors for years to come. In 1 hour, you could begin building a body that will carry you strong into old age. In 1 hour, you could write the first page of the book that changes someone's life. In 1 hour, you could speak to God and receive the peace your soul has been craving for decades. But the enemy knows this, so he feeds you the myth to keep you complacent. Let me be real with you. Some of the most powerful moments in your life will come from time you didn't feel like setting aside. You won't always be in the mood, you won't always be inspired, but purpose isn't about feelings, it's about faithfulness. If you keep waiting until you feel like it, you'll never move. But if you move first, the momentum will come. And before long, you'll realize you had time all along. You just didn't treat it like treasure. This myth of I don't have time must die if your future is going to live. You've got 168 hours in a week. Subtract your job, your sleep, your responsibilities, and you still have hours left that are yours. You've got time. It's just been buried under distraction, under obligation, under unspoken fear that maybe, just maybe, your future requires more of you than you've been giving, but no more, not after this moment. You're going to look at your life and say, I refuse to live another day telling the lie that I don't have time. I have been given enough to build something great. I will carve out the hour. I will make the commitment. I will shift my priorities. I will make room for the me I've been called to become. Because when you break the myth, you break the limitations. When you break the myth, you break the generational patterns. When you break the myth, you begin to rewrite the story. And no, it doesn't take 10 hours a day. It doesn't take quitting your job or running off to a mountain. It just takes 1 hour of truth, 1 hour of focus, 1 hour where you stop running from your calling and start walking toward your future. You have time. You always have. Now it's time to use it. So now you've heard it. You've heard about the power of one intentional hour. You've learned how your daily decisions shape your destiny. You've seen the truth behind small beginnings and the compound effect that transforms inches into miles. You've understood that it's not just about managing time, it's about mastering it. And you've shattered the myth that says, "I don't have time," realizing that what you do with your time reflects what you truly value. But now the choice is yours, because revelation without application is just entertainment. God didn't send this word for your ears alone. He sent it to activate your movement, to provoke your discipline, to ignite your inner fire. You've been waiting for a sign. This is it. You've been looking for a breakthrough. It starts with what you do today. You've been praying for transformation. Heaven is saying, "Give me your hour," because 1 hour a day, set apart, uninterrupted, intentional, becomes the altar where your next level is built. It's the quiet forge where your character is shaped. It's the sacred space where habits are born, where clarity is found, where purpose is watered. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. You just need to start. 1 hour of study, 1 hour of strategy, 1 hour of prayer, 1 hour of action, day by day, step by step, brick by brick, until what was once a vision becomes a testimony, until what started in secret becomes seen by the world. Don't let another day slip through your fingers. Don't keep saying someday when God is calling for today. You don't need more time. You need more intention. You don't need a miracle. You need a commitment. So I declare over your life, the hour has come. This is your turning point. This is the day you stop waiting for change and become the change. This is the moment you rise up and say, "I will no longer waste what God has given me. I will no longer discount what 1 hour can do. My time is a tool, my time is a weapon, my time is a gift, and I will honor it." Give God your hour and watch Him multiply your life. Because 1 hour a day won't just change your schedule, it will change your spirit, it will change your character, it will change your calling, it will change your future. 1 hour a day can change your life.